Let me ask you something. What if the food on your plate could actually ease your pain or potentially even make it worse? Most people think managing your pain is all about taking pills or some kind of medication, even getting injections, or even in worst cases, getting surgery. But what if I told you that the food you consume can have a profound anti-inflammatory effect in your body and actually ease your pain naturally? Today I'm going to talk about some of the most important foods that can either ease your pain or reduce inflammation just through eating. And I'm also going to talk about the foods that could potentially make it worse. So for years, people have been told if they have pain that they just need to take ibuprofen or get a steroid injection or take prednisone. But the truth is that's only a band-aid, and it's truly only masking the pain. And it's not getting to the root cause of what's causing the pain. One of the biggest hidden causes of chronic pain and inflammation is actually the food you eat. Our foods are so filled of chemicals. We're talking dyes that are unnatural. We're talking preservatives that our bodies are not meant to digest and to ingest. And so all of these potential toxins create an inflammatory state in our body. They can result in joint pain, back pain, neck pain, muscle pain, something people have heard about called fibromyalgia. These can all be related to your diet. Imagine if you could just change the way you eat and you could actually start healing yourself from the inside out. We like to focus on the fact that food is medicine, and you have the ability, just by consuming the right foods, to reduce inflammation throughout your body. I see it in my clinic all the time. People come in with back pain, knee pain, joint pain all over, muscle pain all over, and I ask them about their diet. A lot of people don't even know what to eat. They don't even know where to start. And I find out they're drinking sodas, and they're drinking the sugar-free sodas, and they drink that instead of water. And I can't stress the importance of hydration, and they don't understand that some of these beverages, energy drinks, even some of these health food drinks are really not nourishing their bodies and giving them what they need, and they could actually potentially be leading to an inflammatory condition that results in all of your body hurting all over. The foods you eat can either fuel inflammation or they can fight inflammation. And this is incredibly important for your gut health, which is intimately related to your immune health, which is ultimately related to your inflammatory state. So today we're going to go over the top 10 foods you should be eating if you want to fight inflammation naturally. So these are not trendy diets or fad diets or supplements. These are all nutrient-dense foods that are backed by science and research and have been shown to decrease inflammation naturally. So many of us, and I preach this in my practice all the time, are looking for a quick fix. I like to help people get to the root cause, and I believe food is a foundation. If we can do anything to help improve our overall quality of life, reduce pain, reduce inflammation, we need to start with food. That is a foundation. Every cell in your body is made up of the food and nutrients you put into your body. If you're putting in synthetic foods, or I don't even call them foods, if you're putting in synthetic chemicals that taste good, it's really doing nothing to promote health. It's doing nothing to promote your bone structure, your muscle structure, your tendon structure, all these important things that need nourishment in order to function healthfully. And if they're not, they can lead to chronic disease, chronic pain, and the root cause of all of this is inflammation. All right, now the top 10 foods, we're gonna get into this. Number one on my list is not really a food, but it's a spice. It's called turmeric, and its main active ingredients is curcumin, and this has a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effect in the body. Now, turmeric, most people know, is the yellow food dye that we see in Indian food. It's that yellow spice that kind of gives it that orange color. It's got a very aromatic flavor and scent to it. This is something that you can sprinkle on top of smoothies. You can mix it in with your almond milk or nut milk if you're into those types of milks, and it can have a significant anti-inflammatory effect throughout the body. It's best to take it with black pepper, which has something called bioperine in it. This actually helps you absorb the curcumin by about 2,000%. So incredibly beneficial, incredibly affordable, and it's easy to access. Number two is wild-caught salmon. So salmon is full of anti-inflammatory omega-3s. Omega-3s, we know just from the fish oil supplementation industry that we've learned from all numerous studies, can have a profound anti-inflammatory effect in the body. This is something you can get naturally just by eating salmon. An easy swap for people if you don't know where to incorporate this into your diet. Instead of eating processed lunch meats, do a salmon salad. And how how do you make a salad? Well, you incorporate number 3, which is leafy greens. And this can include spinach, it can include kale, Swiss chard. Now, these have natural anti-inflammatory compounds and different types of dense nutrients that can support our natural anti-inflammatory process. You can mix these into salads, you can make sandwiches out of them, you can make a salad with salmon, and you can also add turmeric to that, and you've incorporated 3 of my top anti-inflammatory foods into one meal. Number 4 on my list of anti-inflammatory foods are berries. These can include blackberries, blueberries, raspberries. These have polyphenols in them and different antioxidant and nutrients that can help fight inflammation naturally. This is a great swap for after dinner. Instead of getting that piece of dessert, which is loaded with sugar, which we know is pro-inflammatory, you can grab some berries. You can do a mixed berry bunch and just mix blackberries, blueberries, or whatever type of berries you like all together. And that way you get some variety. And in the process, not only are you getting the antioxidants your body and your brain and your nervous system needs, but you're also fighting inflammation. And if you do this daily, you're going to find that over the course of several weeks, you're just going to start to feel a lot better. Number 5 is avocados. Avocados have healthy fats in them. And we've learned through several decades of studies that healthy fats are incredibly important for our bodies. They help us make our cell membranes, they help us fight the bad cholesterol, and they also have an anti-inflammatory effect. So avocados can be added to salads, you can put them on your sandwiches. Instead of processed meats, like we said, we're gonna swap out, maybe try some wild caught salmon, sprinkle a little bit of turmeric on top, and that'll give it a nice flavor. A little bit of, actually, one thing I like to do is avocados, a little turmeric on top, a little bit of salt, just a touch of salt, and a little bit of black pepper to activate the turmeric. It's yummy, it's delicious, it's very filling too. So if you're trying to lose weight, healthy fats may be a good option. Incorporating avocados into your diet may be a good way to do that. Next one is walnuts and almonds. These particular nuts have antioxidants in them, and they have anti-inflammatory minerals and nutrients. One thing I've started doing, so I'll back up and tell you, I've got a huge sweet tooth, and it's taken me years to wean myself off of sugar. But I was a sugar addict, self-proclaimed sugar addict. But through the years, I've been able to wean off of that, and I've done this by substituting the bad sugars with healthy sugars. Again, incorporating berries into my diet, and for dessert, just swapping that out. So getting back to nuts. So walnuts are really great, and so are almonds. And so what I've started doing is I've started making this trail mix. Well, I use walnuts, almonds, even dates, and then also raisins. Mix these all together. Tend to have not only the nutrient dense benefits, but also anti-inflammatory effects. And they're delicious. They satisfy my sweet tooth, and they're also filling because nuts also have the healthy fats, very similar to avocados. Okay, now we're at number 7, which is olive oil. Olive oil is one of my favorite things, especially extra virgin olive oil that's been not processed. That tends to be the best. It's full of a chemical called olecanthinols, which can have anti-inflammatory properties, and some studies have shown that olive oil can be as effective as ibuprofen in reducing inflammation without any of the horrible side effects of ibuprofen. Just so you know, the anti-inflammatory medications, they have a time and a place, but if we can find more natural ways to reduce our inflammation, why not do that? No side effects, no risk of heart attack, stroke, or coronary disease or kidney disease. Olive oil is a great option, and it tastes really good. A lot of people will just do a shot every morning. I started that. I'd like to get back into it and continue it. I think it's a great way to reduce inflammation naturally. You can put it on your salad. Again, you can mix it with the turmeric and curcumin I had mentioned earlier. Another great way to incorporate olive oil into your snack regimen, to take an avocado, again, salt, pepper, a little bit of turmeric, and then a little bit of olive oil on top of that. Next one is ginger. So ginger can come in a root. It can also come in a powder. Ginger, again, has very anti-inflammatory properties. Incorporating this into your meals can be very beneficial. It also has really good benefits for your digestive and gut health. I'm sure by now you've heard everyone, all the health gurus raving about gut health and how important it is. I can't stress to you how important it is. Again, this all comes down to food and what you consume. Ginger is really good for balancing the gut microbiome, reducing inflammation naturally. It also tastes good and promotes digestion. It has fiber in it, all of which are beneficial for reducing inflammation in the body. Green tea is number 9 on my list. Green tea is full of antioxidants, and when consumed in appropriate amounts, it can actually have an anti-inflammatory effect throughout the body. We know it's good for brain health, it's good for heart health, but it's also good for joint health. So a little bit of green tea every day can be really beneficial. Number 10 on my list, and this may be a little bit controversial, but it does have anti-inflammatory properties, is garlic. So some people love garlic, some people can't stand garlic. So if you're one of the people who can't stand garlic, we'll skip over number 10 for you. But if you do like garlic, incorporate it into your meals. Again, you can use it as a condiment, as a dressing, just as a garnish. It can be really, really delicious when used in the right way, but it also has powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Now, just as important is what you add to your diet to reduce pain and inflammation, equally important to take the bad stuff away. Now, here are my top 3 things to avoid if you really want to take control of your health, reduce inflammation and pain naturally, and live the best life you can possibly live. Number 1 is processed sugar. Now, these are found in sodas, they're found in energy drinks, they're found in desserts, they're found in all the processed foods that taste really good. So if you want to really cut down on the inflammation in your body, you really need to eliminate those. Just get rid of them. They're doing nothing for your health. And if you're dealing with chronic pain and you're eating this stuff, you're just perpetuating the cycle. So what can you do in its place? Well, there's coconut sugar, which has been shown to be less inflammatory and have less an effect on your glycemic index, which can actually help with diabetes. Date sugar is another one. That tends to be incredibly sweet, but it also helps with your blood sugar balance and can be more anti-inflammatory than processed sugars. And then there's allulose. Allulose is incredible because it has that sugar flavor, but has no effect on your blood sugar, and it's got fiber. So this is something I would really consider adding or swapping out instead of the processed sugars. Number 2 is alcohol. I know a lot of people, our society and our culture in America is based upon alcohol consumption, but we've learned through several decades of research that alcohol is terrible for brain health. It actually increases inflammation throughout the body. If you're dealing with chronic pain, it can actually make your pain worse long term by increasing the inflammation. A lot of this is related to the sugars. So I'm not telling you to eliminate alcohol completely. That would be ideal. But if you do need drinks, maybe limit it to 1 or 2 a week. There have all these non-alcoholic beverages coming out now with adaptogens in them that are mushroom based. They have herbs like kava in them, which can have that same calming effect that alcohol can have, but without the inflammatory and harmful side effects. Number 3 is going to be your processed seed oils. So these are going to be your sunflower, your canola oils. These oils tend to be really, really inflammatory. They're rich in omega-6 pro-inflammatory omegas, and when they're heated up especially, they get altered into more toxic compounds. When we ingest them or the foods that are cooked in them, they create an inflammatory state in our body, increase the risk of heart disease, and just cause overall havoc inside our tissues. So a good swap for that would be avocado oil, or getting back to olive oil. Now, if you're going to cook, if you're going to fry something in any kind of oil, you want it to be avocado oil because it has a higher heat index. Olive oil is great at room temperature. It's great to add to salads and use as a dressing, and it still retains all the good anti-inflammatory and antioxidant benefits that it does compared to the seed oils, which are really, really bad and toxic for you. Now, the key point is here, you don't have to be perfect. There's a lot of information I threw at you here, but the more anti-inflammatory foods you can incorporate into your diet, the better you're going to feel overall. The less pain, the less inflammation you're going to have, the better mobility you can potentially have. That's what we're talking about here. There's a lot of information, again, like I said. What Nikki and I do is we practice the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time we're eating these healthy foods, we're staying away from the bad stuff. 20% of the time we eat normally. And so normally is incorporating maybe some of the stuff that we know isn't as healthy as it could be, but it's really about being realistic. Sometimes when we go out to eat, we don't have a choice. The foods are cooked in some of these oils, and you can ask to maybe have them not cooked in those seed oils, but that's kind of hard to do. Not all restaurants are as accommodating as others. That's incredibly important, but it's about making small lifestyle changes. Even if you start with 1 or 2 of these top 10 foods that I've mentioned, you can start incorporating those into your food and into your diet. Maybe you start with like 1 food for the first few weeks, week 2, add a couple more, and before you know it, you're going to have my top 10 foods into your diet, and you're going to start eliminating the top bad 3. Over the course of several months, you're going to notice a physiological change, and you're just going to have this better sense of well-being. Hopefully you'll notice improvement in your pain and inflammation as well. If you want an easy cheat code to help you stock your food with anti-inflammatory foods, we got you covered. A couple ways you can do this. There's gonna be a link below where you can download this list that I provided for you, the benefits, why they're beneficial and why to use them, and then we'll also have the foods that you should eliminate. That's number one. Number two, you can call and schedule a free 15-minute pain assessment call, free of charge. You just call, make that appointment. You'll talk to my associate and they'll go over some anti-inflammatory foods and just get an idea of what your needs may be. Key here is to be proactive, be preventive, and be unstoppable. We're here to support you in your journey by finding natural ways to relieve pain and inflammation, because that's where longevity is. The healthier you are, the better you're gonna feel, the better your older years are gonna be. As I've always said, food is medicine. We'll start with the anti-inflammatory foods, and cheers to good health. Thank you so much for staying till the end of this video. I really want to keep this conversation going, so if you leave a comment, I'll reply to it. I'll do my best to get to every single one of them. Some of them may be the same type of questions, so if you ask a question, I don't reply to it, check above to see if I've already answered that question. Number one, please. Number two, if you like this content, please hit the like button, please hit subscribe. The goal is to really get this information out there for people. It's free of charge, and it can really be impactful, and it can change your life.